everybody. Yes, I apologize. It's been a couple of weeks at least, I think, since I did a video. Um, so I apologize. Just been absorbing the energies lately and been kind of getting through this crazy time, especially the last few days. Um, I've been getting a lot of energies. Had a vision I'll share, and I want to share a story too. Because this video is titled Lessons in Trust. Lessons of Trust, however you want to say it. Um, so, so probably about 2 or 3 days before the election, I had felt this really intense sadness, very, very intense sadness. And I really wasn't my sadness, and I felt it. And then I knew I knew it was going to be chaotic and knew it was going to be crazy. And I think most of us did. Um, Now, whatever your stance is on this whole election craziness, it really doesn't matter. What I mean, now you're, let me take that back. Let me word it differently. What I mean is, it doesn't matter how the election's going to go, whether Trump gets or Biden gets. I don't want to spend time on this. I really don't, because I don't want to get into politics. I really don't like it. I don't. It doesn't matter which party. I think they all are in it for power and that. And so, um, either way, whatever happens, there's going to be the changes that are going to come. So I will give you examples, a couple of visions I had, and I've had vision, and this was years ago, and I didn't understand what it was, but I saw military, I saw in the streets, I saw a lot of craziness and chaos, and these are the streets of the U.S. In different cities, and I had seen this, and it was actually the military, and they were National Guard too, and that, and which is happening now, but it was more intensified because it was like countrywide. So what I get is Trump wins, or Trump ends up staying, there's going to be chaos and it's going to get much, much worse because the way it was a few weeks ago with the Antifa and all the riots. If Biden gets it, whatever, there's going to be probably everything's going to crash. There'll probably be a crash in the economy, everything, so it doesn't much matter. So my point is, really, it doesn't matter. We have to learn to trust. We have to trust in ourselves. We have to learn to trust in Creator, God, Source. We have to believe that we will be fine. We won't have to go through these trials, these tribulations, this craziness, this chaos when it gets to the point where it's going to be, unmanageable. Because the thing is, for thousands of years, the earth has suffered great, great amounts of negative energies. Negative energies from wars, from violence, from hatred, from everything, from all of the negative aspects, from poisons, from pollution, from toxic waste, from nuclear plants being buried in the ground. So she has suffered, this planet has dealt with that negative energy. And for the most part, this negative energy, what happens is it gets pushed into the planet. It just doesn't go away. So this was another aspect that I had gotten many years ago, several years ago, channeling, when I was channeling the Arcturians. And they were explaining some very detailed information about the earth changes that will happen, and much of this is because of the negative energies that have impacted the earth. And so this energy will radiate out from the core of the planet into the surface, and it will come in the form of major earthquakes, floods, and catastrophes. And I'm not trying to put this, I'm not saying this to create fear. It's more of an awareness. And whether whoever comes out ahead anyway, it doesn't much matter who gets this next president, because it's all going to happen anyway. It all has to be cleansed. It has to be cleared. The other thing is people are putting too much of their uh, false idols. Does that make sense? False idols. We're putting too much where they should be focusing on is their hearts, God, source, creator. That's where we should be focusing our energy on. And those people that aren't doing that and are pushing that aside, pushing that energy aside, are will be left behind. They won't make it. I'm going to put that out there, because you can't, if you're not understanding what the truth of how do I say living and truth of being here is, it's to experience duality, but do it coming from our creator self, our God self, right? It's to express that outward, express that love like Christ did, like Sananda, Christ did. It's to teach people that, to teach awareness of that way of being, okay? Because that's truly who we are. So it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter. And when you come to that point of acceptance of what is, and you're okay with whatever, then you won't be brought into that energy, okay? Now, did I see this coming? Yes, I believe. Yes, there's a lot of fraudulent claims being put out there. There's a lot of stuff happening. Do I see? I have my own perceptions of what will happen, but I don't want to go into that just because I don't want to get into that. Like I said, I want to focus on what's important, is focusing on expressing that teachings of our creator, of ourself, our God self love, okay? Just like Sananda did, okay? And so that's what's important. That's the true ascension of the soul. That's the true ascension of spirit. Um, and I think most of us, most people I talk to don't get too involved into the political aspects, because it's easy to get sucked into that. It's easy to get uh, carried into that negative energy. And it is very negative. There's been a lot of negative energy uh, this week, especially because of that. And people are feeling it and picking it up. I picked it up more before the election, and now I feel great. I know that whatever happens, it doesn't matter, because we will be fine. There will be that shift. There will be that ascension before everything gets to total chaos. And those who are ready will leave with that shift. Um, those who are not will be left behind if they're not ready. And I'm not, I don't want that. I want people to be able to be awake, to turn within, because you don't want to be here after this shift. It's not going to be pleasant either way. I want to share a parable, a story that I was led to. It's in the Holy Bible, King James Version. It is actually from Matthew. I will have to look at that. Hold on, let me grab. I will put it. I'll tell you what. I put it in the description. I believe it's Matthew 24. No, 13 verse. I can't remember verses. So and so. Okay. So what is it? So I'll share this. So there was a farmer. Okay, who was in charge of this village, and in this village he was in charge of planting, and there's a lesson here, big lesson and I will share the lessons of what it is after I share the story. Because last night I kept on hearing parable, and then this morning I heard, Matthew and I heard the verse and the chapter and everything in the Bible, and I don't know, I read verses in that from the Bible and that, but I don't know it in and out like uh, others. Uh, so anyway, so there's this farmer in this village who is in charge of the growing wheat, okay, in his field, and this helps feed the village. So the day he was planting the seeds, he was planting all the seeds of the wheat in there and watered it and everything. When the wheat started to grow, he noticed there were weeds connect right next to all these wheat shoots that were coming up, okay? And he said, "What happened?" Well, unbeknownst to him, the night that he finished seeding this field, the enemy planted seeds in with the wheat. So he panicked and he said, "What do we do?" The villager said, "What do we do? What do we do?" And the farmer said, "We'll have to let it go, because if we pull out the wheat now, it'll destroy the root and it'll destroy the crop." And they said, "Well, what do we do then?" He says, "Wait till we harvest. The harvest will split the weeds from the true wheat." Okay, when the harvest comes, the ascension comes, it will split those, okay, were also planted here on the planet. And so he said, okay, so what they did is when that harvest came, the farmer tied all the weeds together when they were done, and burned it. So the moral of the story, and the lessons here for everybody, actually, lessons for trust, obviously, this is a big one. Trust that it will all turn out right, that will all turn out good. Trust that also having patience for those of us who are ready to ascend and ready to leave, to return or evolve, is having that patience that it will come, and trust. For those who have caused harm and those who have caused damage to the planet, and that they will deal with all that karma in the end, okay? That basically being left behind, left to die, okay? To physically go through the physical death, and then whatever happens to their soul afterwards, whether it be recycled back to source level, or they get brought down to live in more third-dimensional physical lives. Okay, so either way, either way, it's lessons for everyone. Now, the farmer could be God, creator, representing creator or God himself, planting the seeds. Okay, seeds. Many of us are seeds. We're seeds here on this planet, and we came here, whether you're a star seed or a human soul seed, or some other malevolent beings that came here, we're all trying to grow, right? We're all trying to grow, evolve all together, okay? But to evolve beyond, there has to be a separation, right? Eventually, there has to be a separation between those who are ready to move to the next level and those who are not. So there's a very, very great parable story that I came across and was guided to, and I wanted to share because I think it's a very important message for everyone on this planet. Doesn't matter who you are, it's a very important message. So I would say stay patient as much as you can. Keep yourself distracted. Do things that you can stay out of that negative energy, because you don't want to, I don't want to get caught in that negative energy. It's very easy to feel that anger and that negative energy on all of this that's going on. So remember, it doesn't matter what happens and what the result is of this election, because either way, everything will break down anyway. It has to. We're finishing this cycle on this planet, as I've mentioned before. And it's a graduation time. We're at that graduation time, and it is harvest time, right? October, November is harvest time. Now, am I predicting that the ascension will happen? No, I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to put any dates out there. I won't put that out there because I don't want people to come back and say, "Oh, you said." No, I'm not going to say that. But all I will say is it's really close. There's a story. I don't know where I'm at, and yeah, I won't have enough time, but I want to share some other information that was given, and I will share it in another video. And it is basically agendas that have been by other beings, other ET groups on this planet, and I've come to learn about this. More hidden agendas, I would say, some not so much. I will share that in another video because it's too long and too lengthy to include here. And that will make more sense. It will tie things together. It will kind of it made me understand why there's many other starseeds or light workers talking about staying here afterwards and going through these and staying on this planet. And now I understand a lot more. But it has to deal with agendas of different groups. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was some kind of guidance. Again, these are lessons. These are of trusting in our higher self, trusting in God, trusting in Creator. Okay, everything is under control. Whether it may not look like it on the outside, but it is. Everything's under control. So the most important thing we can do is for ourselves is keep ourselves in control, because there are many people who are literally out of control and they will miss that boat. They won't be ready. So until next time, I appreciate you watching the video. Please make comments, please like, please subscribe. If you haven't, check out my other videos, share this video. I greatly appreciate it. Again, I will put a link, just which scripture in the Bible that I referenced, so you can look it up anywhere. And thank you for being with me through this process. And I am grateful for your messages, and I'm grateful for your comments and that. So I appreciate it. I love you all. Thank you very much. God bless.